Give it a go, telling all the rest.
Right, shall we do the same as we did yesterday? Did anybody see us doing yesterday? So you're going to hear the same questions and the same answer, I'm afraid. Gets boring.
Right, well, shall I start off?
Yeah, go on.
Right, Dave Prowse. Dave Prowse came from the west side of England, where they
talk like that.
Where they talk like that. Hello, good morning. How you
I can't understand why they didn't use my voice.
So when he was walking around on the first day of filming, people would say, "Well, what part are you playing?" And he said, "I'm playing Darth Vader." So we were all calling him Darth Ada for a week before we realised it was Darth Vader. So that's worth a round of applause. As I said, yes, Dave. Thank you.
Dear, oh dear.
Didn't work so well yesterday.
Right.
No, we had a better crowd yesterday.
Yeah.
You got a few claps yesterday.
It was later in the day.
We had our fan club in the front here.
Dennis clapped yesterday.
Dennis here. And Dennis walked here today. 50 minutes.
All right. Anyone else? Any questions?
Dennis, did you say you burnt that place down?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, it burnt down on itself.
Well, it's supposed
All right.
We're in school.
We'll ask you the question.
Where were you on the night of the 5th?
Dennis, how long have you been following Star Wars and collecting autographs, Dennis?
Well, I first saw the first Star Wars when I was 7 years old.
7 years old? So that came in 1932, didn't it?
Did you have a beard when you were 7 years old?
Oh, there you go.
No, but I think this is the other way around, shouldn't
Yeah. No one's asking us questions, we're asking you questions.
So Dennis, why do you like Star Wars? What's the big attraction?
Well, it's very hard to explain. It's just so wonderful.
But why haven't you...
That you want to see them over and over again.
Yeah, but a lot of people do that. Right? They ask us, you know, do we watch the films over? I've seen it twice, I think. How many times you've seen it?
3 times.
Yeah. And some people, they say, you know that bit where you go in through it? I can't remember. You can't remember. And another thing people say to me, what was Alec Guinness like? Or who was he like? But sometimes you never work with these people, you never see them.
I know what a pint of Guinness is like.
And when you make a film, it's like making it's like making a car. Somebody will make one part, and somebody else will make the other part in a different part of the factory, and it's only put at the end, and then that's the complete thing. And that's what a film is like.
You don't actually see them sometimes.
No, so you never... But we have met Harrison and people like that, but...
Mark Hamill, we met quite a lot of times.
Yeah, very
because he was in the bar.
Yeah.
In those days it was...
Well, he used to lean on us.
Yeah, he used to,
in the bar.
He would lean on us, yes.
Oh, talk like that.
Yeah, and he used to buy him drinks as well.
Did
he
you?
had no money, did he? Then.
Got loads now.
Right, so, yes, so how long have you been following Star Wars? Were you on the table last night? You don't like Star Wars?
What are you doing here? Look at this little fella here, look at this fella.
What's your name again?
Agnes.
Agnes? Oh, Agnes. Well, Agnes, how long have you been following Star Wars?
I've seen it for 5 minutes.
5 minutes? The bit I was in?
I don't know.
You don't know? Oh, well, no one knows that anyway, because I was in disguise. I was incognito.
But I've got a question for you.
You have?
Yes, I have. I've got the whole night long, so...
Oh, all right, you've written this down.
Yeah, what's your favourite scene in James Bond?
Favourite scene in James Bond?
Yes.
The clown being stabbed in the back.
Which Bond? Which Bond? Which film?
Octopussy.
Oh, wasn't it? Oh, Octopussy. Oh, Let's see, yes.
The clown getting stabbed in the back.
Oh, the clown getting stabbed in the back. Do you know who that was? Who? Do you know who?
It was me!
And he's living proof that he got stabbed.
He's still got blood on his shoes.
That is why I wear the shoes.
Yeah, I did a James Bond film, look my shoes.
That was in black and white though, wasn't it?
No, I'm talking about you. Alright, okay. So, camera lady, I'm going to ask you a question. Why are you filming us? Is this going on the internet?
Yes.
Okay. Make sure the tie's straight, okay. Does that look okay?
It's okay.
Alright. So, when is it going on?
YouTube.
YouTube? Yeah? Don't forget to mention my name.
Okay.
Dave Holland.
That's Laury Goode with an E. Write that down now. Immediately, if not before. Okay, any more questions from
I
anyone?
have a question. I'm here.
Oh, yeah. Who's where?
How are you?
Oh, God.
Hello.
Oh, the little fellow.
Yes.
Let's stand
thank
up.
you.
I can see.
I'm already standing. If you could change any scenes from the Star Wars movies, which scene would you change? And why?
On Star Wars,
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't change anything. I think it's fantastic.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the first one, though, isn't it? You're talking about the first one. I mean,
First, second, third,
Yeah.
the old ones, right?
Yeah.
Would you change anything?
I'll make the days shorter so we didn't have to work so long.
And also, I would give us a bigger part.
And more money.
We would be playing the stars. I would be Harrison Ford
Yes, and I would be Princess Leia.
with his own dress.
And he would be Scott.
The big
Chewbacca.
Luke Skywalker. He's got the right hair for it.
You have to have it dyed though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm really dark.
Oh God. Anyway.
Yes, this gentleman here next to Dennis.
Darth Vader, is it true that he played the entire character, including the lines, but his voice was cut over?
He's what?
His voice was cut over.
Yeah. Al James, what's his name? The black guy.
L. Joseph?
James L. Jones.
Yeah, that's
Oh, my friend, the actor over
James
here.
L. Jones.
Yeah, he did the actual voice.
That's why because he's smart like that, you know. You can't go that way. You got to go that way.
You gotta follow the green class code as
Yeah,
well.
he did a children's safety advert prior to that, and you got to follow the green. What's it called?
Green class code.
Green cross.
You look right,
Green cross.
and then you look left. And then you look right again.
And then you walk across the crossing.
And then you crawl across and you get run over. Because you didn't look left again.
Or you didn't understand what he was saying.
A bollock.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, my flies are undone. Excuse me.
hold up.
That's
No wonder why you're all looking at me.
That's been filmed.
It's all exposed.
I know, on the internet, the flies open. Yeah.
I have a question for you. I'm here.
Hello.
Hello. My assistant. This is lady's my assistant. Give her a round of applause.
When do I get paid?
A lot of the fans of Star Wars, like me, would love to be in one of the movies. Can you tell us a little something about the casting process and maybe give us some tips? If there is going to be another Star Wars movie, if they're going to do 7, 8 and 9, what tips would you give us?
It all depends what country they're making it in, first. If they're making it in England or America.
Yeah. So, but the point is...
They're supposed to do it in Holland, and we...
They're doing it in Holland. They are.
Look up on IMDb and then tell you, and then search for Star Wars, and it'll tell you it was in production, and then you would get in touch with the production office if you want to do it direct, or get an agent
And tell them how beautiful you are.
and say it's good. Yeah, your
And you don't
measurements.
mind doing the star role, but if you can't do that, I will be an extra.
But what I mean
But
is,
you don't want to work too longer hours, tell them.
like,
Say it costs you too much money.
You're not fond of work, I tell you.
Yeah, you want to start at 12, finish at 2, and have an hour's lunch.
what I meant was, is you come there at the casting process, and maybe there are hundreds of people wanting the roles. How did you impress George Lucas so that he was going to choose you guys?
Oh, we didn't see George
How do you get
Lucas.
a part, more or less?
We didn't see George Lucas. We worked through an agent. Our agent works on our behalf. That's why we have agents. So-
Lucas has a casting director, and the casting director
Goes to our agents, and then they select a load of photographs and stuff, and they look at them all on the desk, and then they pick us, and then we have to go up and do a movement exercise and stuff like this, and then it goes from there.
Well, that's what he did, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But that's all depends. There's so many different ways of casting. Sometimes I just pick you from a photograph, and obviously the bigger the part, the more of a process it becomes. So does that answer your question? Because I'm out of breath.
Yes, thank you. We learned a lot from that, thank you.
All right, that's right. Any more
Have
questions?
you guys seen the new Star Wars movies, the
No.
episode 1 to 3?
I saw the first one with Jar Jar Binks, and that was enough. I didn't watch any more.
Okay, so my question would be, which 3 movies would you prefer? The old 3 ones or the new 3 ones?
I prefer the first one,
I prefer the first one.
and secondly the first one, and thirdly the first one. Is that right?
Well, I prefer the first one because I haven't seen any of the others, to be honest with you.
I prefer the first 3. I like the first 3, especially Jedi. But everybody's got their own preference, and fans have got their own preference.
Yes, Dennis?
Dennis, any more, Dennis?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Let's go for it.
Well, actually, I've got two favorites.
Actually, I've got 2 favorites, and that's Return of the Jedi and Attack of the Clones.
Return of the Jedi. Oh. Don't you like A New Hope then?
Yes, I like that as well.
Because you saw that when you were 9.
No, I was 7.
7? Ah, he was getting 2 years younger every time you
Well,
say it.
that
You'll be seeing it before you're born soon.
He only had a moustache when he was 7. He didn't have the full beard.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. So you saw that when you were 7.
yes, and it made a big impression.
It made a big impression, and you saw it again when you were 51.
When I was 17.
And it didn't make a big impression the second time.
Well, the second time I saw it was only 2 hours later.
Oh God! And you aged 2 years. You were 9 then.
No, it was on my cousin's birthday party.
Yeah, you told me this
And,
yesterday.
my uncle had rented a projector and the Star Wars film.
Oh really?
And then we watched it. And then after that, they asked us what we wanted to do next, play games or something else. And then we all said we want to see Star Wars again.
Yeah.
So we watched it twice that afternoon. And
Yeah.
it made a very big
Well,
impression on me.
that would impress George Lucas.
And then we can
This
play
is going
Kiss
on the
Chase
internet.
after.
This is Dennis, George. Anyway,
Any more questions?
wait, Dennis.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dennis. The floor is yours.
I was about to say it's about time that you start answering the questions again.
Yes.
And I've got one for you,
For me?
for all of you.
Yes, Dennis.
Yes.
If there were going to be more Star Wars films, and you would be able to write the scripts, what would happen?
Let me think.
Laurie is a scriptwriter.
I am a script writer, George Lucas. I would. The thing is, it's about the idea, isn't it? It's about the what's the word I'm looking for? It's not about kind of like a bank robbery where people are after money. It's about taking over the world or taking over the universe. So I haven't got a clue.
Don't ask me.
No, I wouldn't.
I would say try and maybe kind of go to the sun and on hot days and try and dampen it down a bit so we don't sweat. I would call it the Icarus invasion. The Icarus invasion. The Nicarus and Icarus invasion.
He laughs at his own jokes.
God, nobody else does. But
I see my two fans are in the audience. What, you see, they know who I am.
Right. During your career, do you ever regret any characters you ever played?
Anybody got stabbed?
That's when I died, yes.
The day died.
No,
There's a good title.
the new Star Wars film is called The Day Dave Died. Laurie stabbed him in the back. Mike hit him with the stick. Dumb, Dumb and Dumber, starring in The Day Dave Died.
Icarus and Icarus. .com.
You okay?
Oh God.
Do we make a funny three?
yes, you do.
We have only just met.
I
I only
got
met
boring.
Mike yesterday. I've known Laurie years.
Yeah.
Yeah, years of tears.
Did you guys ever did stand-up comedy in theater or in bars or anywhere?
Well, I've sat down and done it.
I've fallen over and done it.
I was a DJ for 20 years, so that's a bit of experience. Yeah.
But he couldn't reach the what's
Joke
it?
tape.
I know it.
The table. He kept getting it wrong.
Did a good turn.
What did you want on, love? I will try next time.
I've got lofty here.
I would love to be taller.
Yeah.
And have more hair.
Yeah.
I used to have hair, by the way.
Yeah.
On my photos out there.
Yeah.
Because I doubled Hulpstapel in Flodders 1, and I have the photographs there today. Because Tom printed them off for me, and they look very good. Thank you, Tom.
Come on, boy.
What can you tell us about this Flodder shoot? How was that for you? I mean, to be in Holland, to work with Dutch crew, can you explain
It was
differences?
it was fantastic because on the films in Holland, I would say it's 96% women work on films. There's only a director, producer, maybe an art director. It wasn't Blue, Michael. No. And they were fabulous people to work for.
Getting serious now.
Any differences compared to the British way of filming, stunt making?
More friendly, I would say. More happy.
What was the question?
What is the difference between the Dutch and the British or American way of filming, production and stunt work?
Americans seem to have sort of like be more
money.
and laid back.
English are more stuck up.
More
I
stuck up
think.
and sort of like the
Tight budget.
directors always think they're sort of like Hollywood types. Majority, not all of them, sort of like 80%. They always think, oh, this is Hollywood, I'm big time. But American directors don't. They seem to be very, very amiable people. Is that the right word? Easy to get along with.
So if Dick Mass ever watches this, I'd love to work with you again, Dick Mass, director.
And I'd like to work with
And Hoopstapel,
Martin
hope
Campbell.
you're well.
And I'd like to work with Martin Campbell.
I have already worked with Martin Campbell.
Yeah, so I'd like to work with him again.
I'll tell him.
Nice man.
That's
But
very
he's
good.
New
That's very good.
Zealand. He's in New Zealand. But he's based in America. Well, you
I'll solve you there.
There's a punch up down the front here.
He's the visual photographer.
All right. Anything else? Anything else, ladies? You want to?
I get the tooth back in 6 months. I have an implant put in, but I've got to wait till it heals.
I have a question for you guys.
Hello.
What is your ultimate dream project? If there's one book or story that is going to be made into film, what would be your dream role?
Dream role?
Yes?
The one that pays the most money. We had that yesterday, didn't we? The one that pays the most money. No, dream role. Basically, play your character what you are is the best thing to do, I think, really. I know I'm a monster in Star Wars, so I'm playing out a character there. But to play your basic personality, an extension of that, like he's always playing villains. And he's always getting stabbed, so you can see what see what his life's been like,
And hit on the head.
Yeah. And what about you?
Yeah, it's always nice to play something opposite your personality. I mean, if you're a happy person, I like to play like he plays. Yeah,
Well,
bad.
miserable.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you're happy,
yeah.
you like to play miserable.
Huh?
You like to play miserable.
Yeah, yeah.
That's acting, then, isn't it?
Yeah, he's coming something completely different, and it is
How
a
can you
challenge.
play
It is
miserable
a
if you're
challenge.
not a miserable person?
Eh?
Don't start, you two. It might be a punch up here in a minute. I'll get in a little bit.
No, you know what I mean.
No.
I'm not a murderer, but I like to play a murderer, you know?
Oh.
Good start here. Good start.
Get away from the stick.
Yeah, what's that cloud?
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's the sort of part. Opposite your personality.
The murderer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Murderer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a title there.
I have-
The new Star Wars film, Mike the Murderer.
yeah.
Thank you.
Is there a role or a character or something that you could not play, even if they would pay you 1 trillion million?
I couldn't play Chewbacca.
And I can play Mike Tyson.
No, Mike could play Chewbacca if he sat on my shoulders.
Yeah, but no.
I mean more not physically, but just kind of mentally, just what kind of stuff you couldn't do?
Macbeth. I don't think you could play Macbeth.
Moving on, not to be that is the question.
It's yeah. And I couldn't do anything like classical or anything like that. Wouldn't fancy doing that, would you, Dave?
I don't mind, sir.
Classical? Something classical? Shakespeare?
I've worked.
Once more to the breach, dear friends, once more.
I worked
Or
at the,
close all up with our English dead. In peace there's nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility.
Why do I
I
keep
wouldn't have-
getting stabbed in the back again?
I was getting into it then. The moment's gone. Someone's won the jackpot there.
We get half because it's in our time.
Yes, we got that. So there you are. That's
What about a question from my new
assistant. We are sailing.
She has a question.
it is
So-
nearly 12 o'clock and we finish at 12 o'clock.
So, well, you.
We have a-
Does any one of you know
Yeah.
Peter Jackson?
Peter Jackson.
From Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
No.
Peter Jackson, director. Yeah. Do I know him? Do I know him?
I don't
Peter
know.
Jackson?
I don't know.
No.
I know Mrs. Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Yeah. Michael Jackson. Hello. No. Peter Jackson. No.
I beat Michael. Might be talking. Oh, sorry. What's the?
Peter Jackson.
Oh,
Talk about
Peter.
it. But Mike, you can say something about Michael Jackson. It keeps it going, doesn't it?
Well, I beat Michael Jackson. It is the same Jackson 5, isn't it?
Yeah.
On a pop video. Did anyone see the pop video Frankie Goes to Hollywood 2 Tribes? Well, I was the stunt coordinator on that, and I wrote the fight scene. Well, actually, well, I directed the fight scene, although it was directed by Godley and Cream. They tell me what they want, and they said they want a 3-minute, 10-second fight scene with Chechenko and President Reagan fighting in front of the world's press. And I wrote the fight scene, and I picked the 2 guys that played the fighters, and that beat Michael Jackson's Thriller at the Cannes Film Festival. It actually won the Cannes Film Festival.
Yes.
But no, I don't know Peter Jackson.
Alright, that sounds like a nice end of the panel. A round of applause for Dave Holland with the red shoes, bloody shoes. Mike Edmunds, Mr. Chewbacca, the next generation.
Good old Chewbacca.
And Mr. Laury Goode.
Hey,
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very kind of you all. If it wasn't for you lot turning up here, we wouldn't be here. So maybe see you next year.